Hello, welcome to the third class on shared memory programming using threads. And in today's class, we will talk about mutual exclusion with threads and how can we use mutex in from pthreads library. So we'll start with a program. This program is something similar to what we did for multiple process when we are talking about mutual exclusion for multiple processes. So in this program we have a global variable r1, and the address of r1 is passed to two different threads. So here is the first thread that we are creating, thread 1, and here is the second thread that we are creating. The first thread will execute the subroutine task 1, and the second thread will execute the subroutine task 2. But to both the task, we are sending the address of the global variable r1 as an argument to the two subroutines. So for the first task, the address of r1 will be received in this local variable t1, and similarly for the second thread, the address of r1 will be received in the subroutine. Now what the two threads will do is the address of r1 was received in the variable t1, and t1 we assign to my t1. So basically my t1 is nothing but a pointer to r1, and similarly thread 2 received the address of r1 in the variable t2, and t2 we are assigning to my t2. So my t2 is nothing but a pointer to r1 variable again. So thread 1 can access the variable r1 through my t1, and thread 2 can access the same variable r1 through the pointer my t2. And now what thread 1 will do is it will assign 1 to a local variable m1, and from m1 it will assign to the memory location that is being pointed by my t1. So what's happening here is the value 1 will be stored in the memory location pointed by my t1, and my t1 is just pointing to r1. So what this code will do is store the value 1 in the global variable r1, and it will also store in the local variable m1. Similarly, thread 2 is storing the value 2 in the global variable through this pointer, and 2 is also stored in the local variable m2. And so basically thread 1 is trying to store the value 1 into this global variable, and thread 2 is trying to store the value 2 into the global variable. And after doing that assignment, next what the two threads do, for example, if we look at thread 1, it makes this assignment to the global variable r1 through the pointer, and next it checks whether the value of r1 is equal to m1 or not. So first we store the value of m1 into the global variable, and then we check whether that global variable r1 is equal to m1 or not. Generally speaking, they will always be equal, and hence the error will not happen. The same thing is being done by task 2 also. It makes the assignment, it stores the value 2 into the global variable r1, and then it checks whether r1 is equal to m2 or not. So again, generally speaking, they will always be equal, because as I just now made the assignment, then if I check, it will be equal. Hence the error should not happen. But now we have two concurrent threads, thread 1 and thread 2. So it may happen that, for example, after thread 1 makes this assignment, and by the time it comes to the if statement, it may happen that by the time thread 2 stores the value 2 into the global variable. So between this assignment statement and the if statement, it may happen that thread 2 modifies the value of the global variable. So in that case, when we do this check in the if statement, the two values may not be equal, because in the meantime thread 2 has modified the value of R1. So when we have concurrent threads, this kind of error may happen. Now this is very less time between the execution of the assignment statement and the execution of the if statement. There may hardly be less than a microsecond of time. So within that small amount of time, threads should exactly execute this instruction to change the value of the global variable R1. So it's a very small amount of time, and thread 2 may get scheduled or may not get scheduled within that small amount of time. If thread 2 do not get scheduled, then we will not see the error, and we will see only the error only if thread 2 gets scheduled in that small amount of time. Hence, when we run this program, we may not notice this error, because it's a very small time within which R2 should be thread 2 should be scheduled. So if we run this program many number of times, maybe sometimes we will see the error, but mostly we will not see the error. So for us to be able to reproduce this error easily, we will introduce some delay between the assignment statement and the if statement for both the threads. So to introduce the delay, we are just writing a for loop which does nothing. It just keeps looping 20,000 number of times. So when we have this for loop, so some amount of time will be spent on executing the for loop, and hence we will have more time between the assignment statement and the if statement. So we'll have more time. So when we have more time, there will be more likely that thread 2 may get scheduled between the two statements. That's the only purpose for introducing this for loop. So with this, let us try to execute the program and see, are we able to see the error or not. So we go to program number 4, and if we see this program, here we have that global variable R1. We pass the address of R1 to thread 1. We also pass the address of R1 to thread 2. So now two different threads will be trying to access the same variable R1, and thread 1 tries to store the value 1 into the global variable R1 through the pointer, and thread 2 tries to store the value 2 into the global variable R1 through the pointer myT2. And after doing the assignment, we want to check whether the two values are equal or not, and just to introduce some delay, we have the for loop. So now let us try to run this code and see what do we see. So we have compiled the program. Now let us run the program, and as you can see, the error happened, and it happened for thread number 1. So thread number 1 assigned the value 1 to the global variable, but by the time it comes to the if statement, and the global variable has been modified by thread 2. So the global variable has the value 2. Let us run it one more time. We get the same output, same output, same output. Sometimes it may happen for thread 2. That's what I'm trying to hear it happened. So earlier I have run the code many times, and every time the error was happening for thread 1, but here it happened for thread 2 also. So in this case it is thread 2 which assigned the value 2 to the global variable, but by the time it comes to the if statement, the global variable has been modified by thread 1, and hence we see the error in thread 2. So we see that the error is happening, and the error is happening because two different threads are trying to access a common resource, and the common resource in this case is the global variable r1. So whenever we have multiple threads trying to access a common resource, we should coordinate their activities. We should coordinate the access to the common resource, otherwise we will have the problems that we saw just now. Now to coordinate access to the shared variable, we can use the mutual exclusion primitives provided in pthreads library, and for that we have 4 different primitives. The first one is mutex init, with which we can initialize a mutex. We pass a null argument, or you can pass the attribute object instead. Here we are passing the null because we want to use the default attribute values. Just like in case of creating a new thread, we passed null because we wanted to use the default attributes for the thread. Here also we want to use the default attributes, so we are passing a null pointer. So that is mutex init. Now if you want to acquire the mutex, the lock is mutex underscore lock with the name of which mutex you want to lock, and to unlock it is mutex unlock, and finally to delete the mutex, it is mutex destroy. So we will make use of these 4 functions provided by the pthreads library to achieve mutual exclusion. So here is the new code, and in this new code, this is the new thing that is happening. We create a variable with the name lock, and its type is mutex underscore t. Next, we initialize that mutex. So we initialize the mutex represented by the variable lock, and then the rest part is same, and this code is same as before. We are passing the address of r1 to 2 threads, and now the main difference will come in these 2 subroutines. So in subroutine task 1, which will be executed by thread 1, before updating the value of the global variable and also checking through the if statement, the thread first acquires the lock on the mutex. The mutex is represented by this variable lock. So thread 1 will try to acquire the lock. After acquiring the lock only it will do the activities, and after completing the activities it will release the lock using the unlock function. The same thing will be done by the second thread also. Before performing the activities on the shared resource, task thread 2 will first try to lock, and once it acquires the lock it will perform the activities on the common resource, and then it will finally release the lock. So now with this guard through the mutex, the problem will not happen, because if it happens that thread 1 first acquire the lock, then thread 1 will enter this section of the code where thread 1 will try to modify the common resource, and as thread 1 is working on the common resource, other threads will not be able to modify R1, because if thread 2 also tries to enter this section of the code, it first has to go through the lock call, and the lock is already acquired by thread 1. So if now thread 2 tries to acquire the lock, it will be blocked, because the lock is already owned by thread 1. So now when thread 2 tries to acquire the lock, it will be blocked, and hence it will not be able to execute this code. Only when thread 1 completes the processing in this section of the code and then finally release the lock, only at that time thread 2 will be able to enter this section of the code, and by that time thread 1 is already complete with its processing, and now thread 2 enters this section of the code and it will modify the global variable, and finally it will also release the lock once it is done with doing all the processing on the shared resource. So it is clear that with this kind of an arrangement, two different threads will never try to modify the shared resource at the same time, and if two different threads cannot modify the shared resource at the same time, the problem we saw just now will never happen. So the value of the global variable R1 will not change between this assignment statement and the if statement, and hence the value of the global variable will always be equal to M1, and the error will never be seen. So further, the main thread, once both the thread terminates, because we did a join, when both the thread terminates, the main thread will destroy the lock. So now let us try to execute this new code and see if we still see the problem. So the code is in this file. So here we use the lock and we initialize the mutex represented by the variable lock, and we destroy the lock also in the main thread after everything is done. And now the two threads will first acquire the lock and then perform its task and then release the lock, and thread 2 will also first try to acquire the lock, then perform its work and then release the lock. So now let us try to compile this code, and so it is compiled. Now let us try to run it, and as you can see, the error is not happening. No matter how many times I run this code, the error do not happen, because we are now control the access, we coordinate the access to the shared resource through the mutex. So that's all for today's class. So we saw how to use mutex to coordinate access to a shared resource, and particularly we looked at the pthread library. With that, I'll stop for today. If you have any questions, please post through Piazza. Thank you. Bye.